From Craig Rolson in Europe, David Gerber in Brazil, and our editor-in-chief and publisher, Don Oshman, it's time for this week's Sunday Night Week in Review.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sunday Night Week in Review, except this week it's on Monday night because we were closed for the holiday, the long American Thanksgiving holiday weekend. But we're back today and in Europe this past week. By the way, if you didn't know it already, you should know it by now. My name is Don Oshman, editor-in-chief and publisher of HideNet Market Reports. In Europe this past week, it was a very, very quiet time. The tanners seem to have enough hides, and the producers seem to have enough sales on the books, and they're getting ready for the Christmas holidays, which are, less than 3 weeks away now, and that's going to retard everything. Everything kind of stops, especially in Europe. So we don't expect much fireworks there. However, the trend was a little bit off the peak on what did sell in Europe this past week. For example, the best bid on Irish 36 and up was €2 at $1.98 below what it had been. So it's also a few cents from last trading, down a few cents from last trading. That's an indication. The lambskin and sheep market, Craig Rolson advises in his report this last weekend that thing is easing as well. So it's quiet time, and as we often say, it's hard to keep markets good or solid or strong when there's not any activity and a minimal volume, let's say. In the U.S., a very similar situation, which is exacerbated by the holiday weekend, which went Thursday was Thanksgiving. Many people did not work Wednesday, and Friday was a holiday for most people. There was some business done, but not a great deal. And if you're a Chinese, for example, tanner, and you want to buy some hides, you're not caring too much about the American holiday. And as we all know in the trade in this day and age, everybody's got a computer or a pad or a cell phone, so the holiday doesn't have to really curtail trading. What curtailed trading, we believe, is that the market has peaked. It's peaked for the last 3 weeks. In America, for example, the kill was only 555,000 this week that just ended, this last week, which was very, very low, but it was a holiday. The Packers did not kill on Thursday. They made up some of it on Saturday, but that was still against export and domestic sales for the period of 406,000. So we had a very low kill of 555,000 in America and 406,000 hides sold. That was the third week in a row where hide export and domestic sales were below production, which was also on the low side. So that tells you what's going on vis-a-vis the Packers' forward sold position. Prices were typically for benchmark Texas at about $108. We don't think that could be duplicated today with buyer interest more like $105, $106. On the high end of that, wouldn't be surprised to see that in the coming week. Who knows? But that only way to find that out is to read HideNet.com, www.hidenet.com, where you can sign up for a free trial and get the whole scoop and see why our prediction for what happened this past week was correct again, and that our predictions are 85% accurate. So the cost of the subscription is nothing compared to what you can make just on one trade by knowing what we think the market is going to do the next day or the next week. In Latin America, the fresh hide market finally stabilized from very, very high numbers, from extremely gains every single week. Tanners were bidding more and more for fresh hides. Same thing in Argentina. Well, that seems to have stabilized now. And it seems that supply and demand are somewhat in balance. Prices are steady at their last levels. Even the split market has stopped going up. So we talked about that. We also talk about import duties going into the EU from some Latin American countries and some port issues in Brazil. That's a quick summary of what happened this past week. We'll be back on schedule next Sunday night and give you the Sunday night report then. And again, as just said, we encourage you all, if you're not already a subscriber, and I think most of the viewers are, to go to www.hidenet.com, get a free trial, and see why tanners, industry people, automotive people, retailers, manufacturers in over 50 countries watch and read HideNet.com. Also, watch out for our complimentary international report published every week as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on next Sunday night. Bye. Another edition of the Sunday Night Week in Review, except this week it's on Monday.